was first on the pill, the Celeste contraceptive pill, and that was when I was 16 years old. And I have also been on the contraceptive injection, and that lasts for 6 months each time. And I was 23 when I was on that. And then I had a break from contraception from around the age of 30 to 35. And then I went on the coil because I was having trouble with my periods, and my gynecologist said that it would regulate my periods, if not take them away altogether.
I have only been on the contraceptive implant, which is called the Nexplanon. It's pretty much like a little plastic rod that's implanted into my arm.
Mental effects at all, as far as I'm aware. I always thought I was quite normal on them. But with the pill and with the injection, both of those, weight gain was definitely a side effect, and possibly they made my headaches, migraines a bit worse as well. But with the coil that I'm on now, I have no side effects at all.
Was it combined pill you were on, wasn't it?
I think it was actually estrogen only,
because I've seen that like combined pills are more likely to cause like migraines, or start migraines and that.
Well, you see, they did ask me, the nurse or the doctor, whoever, I can't remember who I consulted with, but it was somebody at my GP practice anyway, and they did ask me, do you suffer from headaches? And I said yes, and I'm pretty sure that's when they said, well, in that case we'll put you on the estrogen only pill. But it didn't help. It didn't make any difference because I still got really bad headaches. But the thing is, I still suffer from migraines now, but I don't think it's anything to do with my contraception. I think it's just like a hormonal thing, because they seem to come every month, as if I was going to have my period, even though I don't get my periods anymore. I still get these migraines, bang on, like every 3 or 4 weeks, without doubt I'll get a migraine. Whereas beforehand, when I was on these pills that had the hormones in them, I was suffering from headaches, just like really frequently.
So do you think non-hormonal contraception is probably the way to go for you anyway?
I think personally for me, most definitely, the non-hormonal one has been the most, or the one that my body's coped with better.
Mental or physical?
Mentally, I felt quite exhausted. I noticed I was getting stressed at things a lot more than I did before. And physically, I put on a lot of weight, but my acne did clear up, so that was a bonus.
How old were you when you went on contraception?
I believe I was 16, or maybe just about to turn 16.
For all three, actually, all three different contraceptions I went on, I can remember. I can't remember exactly what they said at this point in time, but I can remember that, they give me information, they give me choices of different ones to go on, and, what would suit me better. They give me leaflets about different ones, because, back in that day we didn't have Google.
Yeah.
We just had leaflets and encyclopedias. So yeah, I feel with all the 1, 2, 3 times that I've changed my contraception, I've always had really good advice from my doctors or whoever it was that I went to see.
Yeah. With Jade, she said that she didn't get the best consultation. Well, I guess she didn't. Yeah, I think because now you only get a 10-minute consultation nowadays. We don't really get a long one.
Exactly, you're in and out the door.
Yeah, they don't. NHS just doesn't really have the time for it, sadly.
And I wonder if they kind of rely on a way now It's a totally different world. We do have the internet now, and we can just Google, what's this, what's that, what are the side effects of this. So, maybe they feel that they don't have to give you a consultation. And you know what I mean? In that funny sort of way.
I think it's weird, obviously there's different side effects to everything, but I've also researched that, a lot of doctors nowadays aren't actually, trained to do a lot of this stuff, and they can only, say with the coil, they can only give it to some women if they're eligible for it, when really it should be eligible for everyone, because not everyone does well on hormonal contraception. But just because not enough people are trained, and they don't have the money to actually train people, because they can't allow that to be actually a thing when it could help a lot of women anyway, but it just doesn't happen, which is a shame.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember now. So when I first had my coil fitted, I think I had to go to the doctor because the GP practice nurses weren't able to do it, so I had to go to the sexual health clinic at the hospital, and I think that was the same when I had my first coil out, and then I was just getting it replaced basically, and it was the same because the GP surgery that I was at, none of the nurses are trained to put it in or take them out, whatnot, so I had to go to the sexual health clinic again. I felt like a little teenager going into the sexual health clinic, I was like, oh god.
No, I did not. It was my mother who told me our mother who told me to get the contraception pretty much, and when she made the appointment for me, it was just, I just went in and out really, so I wasn't told any information at all about anything.
The pill, easy peasy, you decide you want to go on the pill, they give you a prescription, and then you just get a repeat prescription every 3 months. You do have to go and get your blood pressure taken and stuff like that, just a general health check. The injection, easy peasy, you go in, you drop your drawers, they give you an injection in your bum, and that's it. And again, you'll have to go in maybe, I don't know, I can't remember how often it was to get your blood pressure and everything taken. The ones for the coil, so I'm not going to say it wasn't painful, because it was quite painful first time I got it in, but the nurses are nice, they make you feel comfortable, and they do recommend that you take you can take a paracetamol or something maybe about half an hour to an hour before you go in, and it won't take away the pain, because obviously they're sticking something into your womb, so it's not going to totally take away the pain, but it certainly did help. But the nurses were lovely. They made you feel at ease, made you feel comfortable. They're talking you through it, exactly what they're doing, so good experiences. Good experiences.
How was your experience at your appointments?
The first time I went, it was with a man, and that was when I was 16, and it wasn't the greatest. I was lying on the bed, and he just put this cold thing on my arm and pushed it kind of looks like a stapler, pushed it into my arm, and I felt everything. I felt the whole thing go in my arm, and he didn't numb me at all. But I thought that was normal. So when I went 3 years later to get it removed and put back in with this lovely woman nurse, she was really nice, and she explained to me that I should have been numbed and everything. So the first time wasn't great, but the second time around was a lot better.
So what happened when it came to you're still not on contraception?
Yeah, I don't have it just now.
And how was getting the rod out and saying that you didn't want to be on it anymore?
So the nurse was quite understanding about it, because I was telling her I wanted my body to be normal for a little bit. She did say that I could go back at any time to talk about other options if I didn't want the implant anymore. Getting the actual implant removed is a very uncomfortable procedure. It's not sore, but you feel a lot of tugging, and you can feel your muscles being tugged, and you can hear noises.
And did you get it through the NHS or your GP or the doctors?
It was the GP I went to. The first time when I was 16, it was through the hospital.
So why didn't you go back to the hospital?
That's a good question. I don't actually know. I just, when I got my first one removed, it was during COVID. So a lot of the rules changed around that time. And so when I got the first one removed in the hospital and put back in the hospital. But when it came round to me making the appointment to remove it, the sexual health clinic, I can't remember if either they weren't answering my calls, or maybe the department had completely moved and they had said on the phone, we recommend you going to see your GP instead.
Are you aware of all of the options available, contraception-wise?
I would say maybe not now, because since I went on the coil, there's probably other things that have come out.
There's different coils now. There's one that has hormonal in it, which...
Yeah, and there's probably different pills you can get.
There's lots of different pills, yeah.
There's probably different injections.
You get patches.
Oh, you get the patches now.
You get the hoop as well. Yeah. The
implant.
Get a hoop as well that gets...
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I didn't hear of it until I started researching
that.
It's just a hoop that goes around your room.
Ooh.
Or like it's in your room, but not around it, like it just kind of sits there, kind of like a moon cup would.
So it's kind of the same as the coil in a way then?
Kind of, yeah, but it's...
And it just sits in... Oh, that's hormonal.
Yeah, but there's two coils now, one that is hormonal as well. So...
Yeah. But I feel at this stage in my game, I'm unlikely to need another contraceptive, so it's not something really that I look into, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with what I've got, and I'm 46 years old. It's highly unlikely that I'm going to need another contraception in my life, because by the time my coil is no longer working, I'm probably going to be past my reproductive stage anyway. So,
are you aware of all the options available?
I don't think I am. I think there's a lot out there that isn't spoke about. I only know a handful of options, so no, I don't think I am aware.
Do you think that there will ever be a contraception for men?
I think there should be a contraception for men. I don't know why it should always be on the woman.
Yeah.
To pump herself full of artificial hormones and things and mess up. I think our bodies go through enough, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're the ones who have to bear children, our hormones are up and down, and we go through the menopause, we have a hell of a time with our hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there should be something that a man can do other than obviously, wearing a condom or getting the snip.
Yeah.
I think there should be a temporary form of contraception that a man can take, so that it's not always on the woman.
Yeah.
And then men can take control as well, because often when a woman gets pregnant, the woman's blamed. But how is it the woman's fault? Because the man had to take part in that as well. But it's the woman that gets blamed, because they're the ones that can take the contraception and bear the child, and So the men take some responsibility for it.
There has been studies done for no contraception, but they've all been pulled because of side effects, the same side effects that women get.
That women get?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then...
What a disgrace.
Yeah, I watched some woman's video, and she said that she thinks that it will probably never actually be a thing, because although men can take the pill at the same time every day, they're probably not going to care as much to take it at the same time, unlike us, because we are the ones still who's going to get pregnant, and they're just going to be like, oh, it won't matter this time, like if I forget it. And like, say if like you're with someone, it'll probably be the girl nagging, being like, oh, have you taken your pill, have you taken your pill? So so I think that's a big issue as well.
I think that there will be ever contraception for men.
I think one day it's very possible that there may be, but whether that's a good idea or not is a question on its own.
Why do you think that would be a good idea?
I think some men are quite irresponsible, and it would leave girls feeling quite anxious, I think, because we're the one that have to go through the physical change of everything if we were to get pregnant, and if that was because the guy failed to take a pill, it's not fair that we have to suffer because of that. And sometimes I feel like it is better for us to just be in complete control. Even though contraception can be annoying sometimes, at least we know in our sake of mind that we've taken it.
Aware of how under-researched female health is. Not really.
Can't say I've ever thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a reasonably healthy individual.
Yeah.
You know, I very rarely get unwell. I very rarely have to go to the doctors for anything.
Yeah.
So whether that's a bit selfish or not, I don't know, but I've just never really thought about it because it's never really affected me.
Yeah. Are you, since I've told you that women's health is under research, does it scare you a bit in any way?
I don't think for me personally, no. Maybe for like the likes of you and Jade, because you are still growing and still coming up in the world. But I feel like I've kind of made it through my whole reproductive stage of my life without any issues.
Yeah. I think there's also just issues in general, like heart disease, like women are more likely to die from heart disease because like they found out that like heart disease develop differently in women, but like, you know, when you get like tests that determine if you're like at risk of having a heart attack, it doesn't really work on women because they've only been tested on men. So like so like a lot of women, and they also symptoms of a heart attack in women are different compared to men.
I did know
like,
that,
like a sore neck or shoulders, or like just be like feeling a bit off, but while men will have like a crushing pain in their chest,
and they get a pain down their arm as well.
Women don't get that. And then I think there's another woman that I listened to a video, and basically she went in being like, oh, I just like don't feel right, so I feel like something's wrong, and it got cut off as like hormonal, and she went back in, and it turns out she was having a heart attack.
No,
So
that's
like,
terrible.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
very scary statistics.
Yeah, very much so. It's very much a man's world that we live in, unfortunately.
Yeah, and a lot of like medicine that we have, like they'd always just say like, so it's always tested on men, and they'd always say that women are just half of men, they're just smaller men. But then there was these, I think it was sleeping pills that went out on the market, and it's been shown that women are more likely to have bad sleeping problems, but yet it's been tested on men. And then it came out that when women would wake up from after having these pills, they were still very like drowsy, and there was lots of like car accidents happening. But like none of those car accidents would have happened. They just tested them on women.
If they tested them on women in the first place and got their doses right.
Yeah, and also a lot of like contraception pills have had to been pulled from the market because girls are having strokes from it, and they're getting like blood clots as well, and it's just scary stuff. So.
Yeah, blood clots, another thing with the contraception as well that you have to be very careful with.
Yeah.
You won't be allowed to take certain things if you're prone to blood clots.
Yeah.
And things like that.
And the only bad thing about taking like hormonal contraception, say if like you need to get your hormones tested, you can't because like they're messed up. Say if you ever want to get like tested for PCOS, like they can't actually see if you've gotten it because your hormones are all
Yeah.
disturbed, so you can't really see if you've actually got in that condition, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's a bit daft, isn't it? Considering the female body and the male body is completely different. The way they work, the hormones are completely different, and yet we're all treated as the same when it comes to medicines. That's just quite frightening, to be honest.
So aware of how under-researched female health is?
No, I'm not. I think I'm going to look more into that.
I think it can maybe be a bit obvious when going into like consultations, like for example the male doctor obviously needs to know what to do.
Yeah.
And I've researched that a lot of people aren't trained to actually do things like the rod and like the coil. So like the coil is supposed to be very like we should be able to have that available, but we can't because not enough NHS people are actually able to do it because they're not trained to do it and they don't have the money to do it.